Dominicast presents Truth Bytes, the truth in small bites. Love, what is it? God is love, the four loves.
Truth Bite 9. Love, what is it? Love, that magic word. It has a million connotations and all of them pleasant. We love everything from our choice of sport to our favourite drink, lipstick colour or song. But we also love people, family, friends, our favourite characters in literature or on the screen. We love ourselves. Some of us love God. Can that word love be valid for such a huge range of meanings? Yes, it can. Love is simply the power that draws us towards what is good, or what we think is good. And love is not just an attraction, but a desire to possess a certain good. We want to do more than just admire it. We want to eat the food, enjoy the holiday, own the car, marry the girl, possess and be ourselves. The attraction to a good thing may be just a physical attraction, the desire of our senses for satisfaction, beautiful or exciting sights, pleasant smells, mouth-watering tastes, delightful touches, sounds that soothe or thrill us. It can also be the attraction our minds have towards grasping true facts or useful knowledge, or experiencing intellectual stimulus and satisfaction. But when our love is not just for things, but for people, we are in a world of love where we don't just love for what we can get out of it, but for what we can bring to it. We love people for the goodness they have, and more importantly, we love them for the goodness they are. And real love involves not only wanting to soak up their goodness, but to give them some of our own goodness in return. Obviously, this is a much higher and deeper form of love that gives a more powerful meaning to the words I love than we find in I love pizza or surfing or my budgie. It's unfortunate then that many people don't seem to notice the difference and are in danger of loving just for the physical or emotional stimulus they can get from the persons they claim to love. And when you apply the wrong kind of love in the wrong way to the wrong thing for the wrong purpose, you don't end up with love at all, but with a kind of hate, which is treating the thing you say you love like an enemy to be conquered and crushed. This is why using people to satisfy our lower passions takes us to the bottom of the human ladder, where we switch off our spiritual powers of knowing and loving and give in to our purely animal instincts. Our minds are in shutdown and our wills have turned to mush. And in these conditions, there's no way our so-called love could have any of the qualities of even the most basic human love. But in this business of searching and being attracted by what is good, there's always the danger of getting it wrong. Even the brightest of us don't have very sharp intellects, and what seems good to us may be anything but. In which case, what we thought was love just wasn't. However, we shouldn't chalk up all our wrong choices to ignorance. We can easily kid ourselves that something is good or good for us when we know very well it's actually deadly. All in all, real human love is a pretty rare thing to find. Maybe this is why we throw the word love around so loosely. We often use it to describe sexual exploitation, trying to make it sound okay. Or we put animals or objects ahead of persons on our love list. Or we spend our quality time and energy, our love, on things that money can buy, or on the social media that can bring us oceans of virtual love, that in the end is mostly fake and therefore no love at all. If we really want to get love in perspective, we could listen to St. Paul in his letter to the Corinthians. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful. It is not arrogant or rude. Love does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrong, but rejoices in the right. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends.
Truth Bite 10. God is love. God is love. How do you work that one out? Well, we can start with a simpler idea that God does actually love in some way or another. As we discovered in a previous podcast, we can work out that God is not a thing, but a person. Persons fundamentally do things like knowing and loving, which stones, plants, and animals can't do. So we're pretty safe in saying that God, the creator and sustainer of the universe, is no stone, plant, or animal. So he loves. The question is, what does he love? And how much does he love? If we want to be very honest, we have to admit that we're persons who don't know much and who get many things wrong. We also have to admit that while we love, we often love too much or too little, and that often we love the wrong things or people, and love them in the wrong way. This is because we're limited beings with inbuilt flaws in our makeup. No human being can know or love perfectly. When it comes to God's knowing and loving, those limits don't apply. In the podcast, What is God Like?, we concluded that God is an infinite and perfect being, unchanging and without flaw or limit. We can say this without being able to fully absorb its meaning. But we also have to say that if he is like this, then his love must be without limit or change or flaw. God doesn't have compartments or moods or different experiences in his knowing and loving the way we do. That's what's meant by his infinity. He knows everything, even before it came into being, and he loves everything, even before it came into being. And everything came into being because he knew and loved it into existence. And his knowing and loving it basically keeps it there. A stupendous thought guaranteed to make you feel quite small and powerless. The implication of this stupendous truth is that if God knows and loves everything, particularly every person, that ever has or ever will come into existence without let up or change, then for us there is no escaping from his love. Even our sins won't do it. Sure, we can, and often do, ignore him and hope he'll go away and leave us alone. We can, and often do, lash out at him the way rebellious children lash out at their mothers in anger, without making the slightest dent in the mother's love. The fact is, we can never cut ourselves off from God's love, because we have no existence without him, and he is love. So when we hear nice sayings like God is love, we mean more than just he is very loving, or he has the top record for loving, or he is the best example of loving, in the way we brand our sports idols or entertainers, or even the world-class cooks or playwrights. God doesn't just have the unbreakable world record for love. He is everything we know and love about love to an infinite degree. And that means there is nothing in him but love. It's sad to think that there are people whose response to such a being is hatred, resentment, and disgust.
Truth Bite 11. The Four Loves. Love. We're obsessed. The plague-like epidemic of broken hearts, divorce, depression, loneliness, dating sites, pornography, and sexual license shows a world desperately hunting for love and getting it wrong most of the time. This is due to the fact that we were made by love, for love. Nothing but real love will fill that chasm inside us or give our lives meaning. So why do we constantly seem to fail at love? As anyone can tell, there are different forms of love. C.S. Lewis, in his famous book, The Four Loves, describes 4 types of love, which he calls affection, friendship, eros, and agape. They all have their place in our lives, but not understanding the distinctions between them can result in a lot of messy or even tragic relationships. Affection, for instance, is the comfortable love we have for the familiar people in our lives. Old teachers or school friends, buddies, family, and neighbours. It helps us appreciate those around us, the people we didn't exactly choose to be with, but wouldn't swap for the world. Affection ignores the differences between us and helps us to get on with people of different ages and interests and types. It is a wonderful, warm, reassuring love that helps build communities and families and teams. Affection and not sex is the kind of love that makes the world go round. Friendship is when two people realize they see the same truth in something, when they share a common ideal or worldview. It's not just hanging out, but rather seeing things and going somewhere together. Friendship is an essential part of being human, but we often sour it with selfishness or superficiality, or we get it confused with sexual attraction. Real friendship is always wanting to give more than to get. It is about engaging in real conversations, especially about the big issues in life. It is a gift from God that always brings out the best in us, and is a major help in making us the people He means us to be, getting us ready for the ultimate relationships of heaven. Eros is a Greek word on which the word erotic is built, but before you jump to conclusions, you need to know it covers more than just sexual love. Sexual attraction does play some part in this love, but Eros goes beyond falling in love. It's also about the business of staying there, which takes a lot of strength of character and genuine virtue. Falling is usually an accidental rather than a deliberate thing. So strictly speaking, we shouldn't fall in love. It should be a deliberately chosen thing. Sure, Eros involves our being drawn to someone through their external attractiveness. But if we don't come to see that person in their true goodness and uniqueness, then love is the wrong word to describe our relationship with them. If it is the real love of Eros, we want nothing but their good, and of course would prefer to be the one to give it to them. It is a far cry from most of what we refer to as sexual or even romantic love. Eventually, however, sometimes rather quickly, we become so convinced of the value of this person, we want to give ourselves entirely to them, to commit to them the rest of our lives, and build an entirely new life for them and with them. Eros is exclusive and committed, but it needs the strength of those other loves of affection and friendship to mellow it as the years pass. Agape is another Greek word meaning Christian love, which straight off the bat means it is a pure, unselfish love coming essentially from the love of God. It goes out to all people and doesn't demand much in return. It's no warm, fuzzy feeling, but a concrete commitment to putting others first. Agape makes sure that affection doesn't slide into boredom, friendship doesn't turn into jealousy, and Eros doesn't become sexual obsession or idol worship. It is the highest and most perfect form of love, obviously because it is founded and modelled on the love God has shown to us through Jesus Christ.